He's pink, he's nearly indestructible, and he has the ability to absorb and take on the characteristics of his enemies.
Hold on. You're doing an episode about Majin Buu?
No. Well, okay, I can actually see where you got that from, but no. Today we're talking all about the Star Warrior himself, Kirby. So on today's episode, we're going over his development, lore, and legacy. Get ready for Hero Unlocked. Kirby, the spherical wonder, made his first appearance in 1992's Kirby's Dream Land. The character was created by Masahiro Sakurai and originally went by the name of Popopo during development until Kirby was chosen from a list of names. Shigeru Miyamoto, aka Daddy Mario, noted that the name Kirby was chosen to pay homage to John Kirby. John Kirby was a lawyer who worked as a defense for Nintendo during the infamous Universal vs. Nintendo court case disputing the legality of Donkey Kong's existence against King Kong's. As an added bonus, the name sounded rather funny as it sounded very harsh when compared to Kirby's, cute appearance. Speaking of Kirby's appearance, his color, his claim to fame, was intended to be pink as per Sakurai, while Miyamoto didn't take kindly to that. Well, all this didn't really matter because the promotional material for the first game on Game Boy showed Kirby as being white. I mean, I guess that makes sense because that's the way he looks in the game, but, so does everything else, so yeah. Kirby is the embodiment of simplicity, from his round exterior to his games as a whole. Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby's first title, was designed to be very approachable to people who didn't play action games. The game itself didn't show off Kirby's trademark ability to take his enemies' powers, however. The gameplay was much more streamlined. Kirby's main form of attacking was to inhale enemies and the like and spit them back out to do damage. Kirby was also able to do things like fly without end. Kirby's copy ability wouldn't show up until Kirby's second game, Kirby's Adventure. This game, now showcasing Kirby's true color, was released in 1993 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Sakurai added the copy ability to Kirby's arsenal as a way to answer criticism about the first game's lack of complexity. The copy ability would add a new layer of challenge and make the game a bit more replayable. Aside from the copy ability, Kirby also sported the ability to slide, attack, and run. The game even had some dope minigames like claw games and arenas. While this game was received very well, it was released way into the NES's lifetime. I mean, the Super NES was released in 1991 in the States. The game was eventually remade on the Game Boy Advance as Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. I played the heck out of this game when I was a kid. Back when Konami still cared about video games, it was Pokemon, Kirby, and Boktai. Freaking Boktai! Konami. After Kirby's Dream Land 2 on the Game Boy, Sakurai set his sights on the Super NES. Kirby Superstar was released on the console in 1996 in North America. The game sports many features that cement this title as one of the best in the franchise. We're talking co-op play, multiple modes, and enemies with more health. In co-op play, the first player would take control of Kirby, while the second player would control a copied enemy. The multiple modes I referred to were displayed on the main menu. These modes included, but were not limited to, the Great Cave Offensive, mode in which Kirby searches around a cave a la Metroid in order to collect 60 treasures, some of which are references to other Nintendo games. Spring Breeze being a remake of Kirby's Dream Land with the gameplay of Superstar. And Gourmet Race, a mode in which Kirby races against King Dedede from one end of a map to the other. This game was a pretty big success and even spawned a remake on the Nintendo DS in 2008. Kirby's Dream Land 3 hit the Super NES before Kirby made his way onto Nintendo 64. Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards hit the N64 in 2000 after 3 years of development. The game was initially intended to find its home on the ill-fated Nintendo 64 DD. This was a CD-based add-on for the N64. However, after the system proved to be a flop, it made its way to the good old cartridge. This game featured some very interesting additions to the copy ability. Additions that, while viewed positively, weren't really used again in the same way until later games. What I'm talking about is that Kirby now has the ability to combine two powers in order to create new ones. For example, Kirby could combine ice and snow to become a freaking curling stone. That's pretty dope. And really random, but still pretty dope. In 2004, Kirby went full Metroidvania with Kirby and the Amazing Mirror for the Game Boy Advance. This project was an undertaking by HAL Labs, Flagship, a subsidiary of Capcom, and Dibs. Dibs did the programming, HAL was in charge of the artwork, and Flagship did the main planning for the game. This all made for not only one of Kirby's most ambitious adventures, but my personal favorite game in the franchise. The game features link cable compatibility with up to 4 players, each player controlling a differently colored Kirby. And if you don't have friends like that, well, the other Kirbys are CPU controlled and can be summoned with a cell phone. Which is weird, but I guess I get it. The title also sported the single best copy ability in all of Kirbydom, and this was the Smash ability. And when you lost this ability, you just wanted to die. After 5 years between major Kirby releases, he hits the Nintendo Wii with a freaking bang. Kirby's Return to Dream Land hit the console in October of 2011. Initially announced as a GameCube title, it was eventually moved due to several development issues. After 11 years in development hell, several different games were proposed for this title. This centered around the devs' insistence that the game focus around multiplayer. Eventually, this gameplay style was settled on and released after the announcement of Kirby's Epic Yarn in 2010 killed all hope that this game even existed anymore. The game still featured multiplayer, however. The first player took control of Kirby, as players 2 through 4 could take control of another Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, or Waddle Dee. Because why would you want to be Kirby when you could be a Waddle Dee? Strangely enough, each player shared from one pool of lives. If any sub-player died, they'd use a life to come back, but if Kirby died, everyone died. This game also introduced temporary copy abilities called super abilities, which were the hallmark of pretty much every trailer for this game. The Nintendo Switch, released in 2017, marked the return of many mainline Nintendo franchises. The Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, Pokemon, and Metroid, just to name a few. So, naturally, a Kirby game was announced shortly after. Kirby Star Allies dropped in March of 2018. The game was developed under the premise of one of the cancelled GameCube Kirby titles. This one incorporated elements from Kirby Superstar and utilized the Helper ability. This game was designed yet again to take advantage of multiplayer capabilities. However, I think this game was a bit of a backward step in that the other players took control of minion characters. They did eventually add other star allies through DLC that was free, but I mean, still, it's kinda weird. The plots of Kirby games are like the plots of Kirby games. What I do find fascinating is just how relevant plot lines involving Cake are after 20 years. What's more, the Kirby canon is pretty debatable. Okay, like with most franchises, it's pretty easy. You've got the main games and you've got spin-offs. But with how Kirby games work, it's hard to tell, like, what's what. Like, okay, so you've got games like Kirby's Adventure. It's straightforward, it's a Kirby game, and it's obviously canon. It has all the things that make a Kirby game what it is. You know, the copying, the jumping, the sliding, whatever. And then there's games like Kirby's Epic Yarn. Like, all the characters and such are still there, but Kirby's made out of yarn. So it's weird. Almost as weird as a person taking the time to try and explain the canon of a game about a pink puffball.
Hey, whoa. Tell him about the time that Kirby Pandora boxed himself.
Ah, yes. In Kirby's second game, Kirby's Adventure, King Dedede steals the Star Rod, a weapon that powers the Fountain of Dreams. Kirby takes off after Homeboy in order to get the rod back. After doing so, this is when things really went down. You see, Kirby didn't know that Dedede stole it and split it up amongst his friends because a creature named Nightmare had corrupted the fountain in order to give the residents of Dreamland bad dreams. So Kirby's kind of the bad guy in this one. It was weird. Anyways, upon returning the Star Rod to the fountain, Nightmare appears, and the two battle out in outer space, which is pretty freaking metal when you think about it. Moving on, in Kirby 64, the planet Ripple Star is attacked by the evil Dark Matter. The planet is home to a group of fairies that guard a magical gem simply known as the Crystal, and I can't believe I'm saying all of this. What? A fairy by the name of Ribbon grabs the crystal and runs away from the dark creatures. She crash lands with the crystal on Kirby's planet, and in the commotion, it broke into shards. So naturally, Kirby has to find them all and stop the evil from engulfing the galaxy. Yada yada yada, protagonism. I don't know, the rest of the games are pretty similar as far as the nature of events go. So for the sake of time, since there are so many of these and I'm oh so lazy, I'm going to give you the quick rundown of the mainline titles. Here we go. 2004, Kirby has multiple personality disorder and an iPhone. 2006, Kirby's dad makes him get a summer job as an exterminator. 2010, Kirby gets really into arts and crafts. Like, really into arts and crafts. 2011, Kirby and his friends go to their high school reunion, and one of them got fat. 2014, Kirby takes on his greatest foe yet, yard work, and lots of it. 2016, Kirby's car is in the shop, so he gets a rental, and it's badass. 2018, if Kirby were a playing card, he'd be the Ace of Hearts. 2002 to 2006, there was a TV show. It sucked. Nintendo has a plethora of characters at its disposal, and Sakurai has made sure that we remember this pink creation. Kirby remains the king of the B-Squad, and I do not mean that with disrespect. While not pulling in the numbers that Pokemon, Animal Crossing, or Mario do, he is still crazy notable. I've actually always believed that Kirby games should sell better. However, I know that the simplicity of the games have always hurt rather than helped the franchise. You see, when you make a game for everyone, you really make a game for no one, and that's no bueno. Either way, Kirby is a staple of what it means to be fun and simple. And there's no shame in that. From his comics, to his show, to his games, both mainline and spin-off, Kirby has captured the hearts and minds of gamers for decades, and he will do it for decades to come. and we will all sit here patiently as we wait for Kirby Air Ride 2. I'm still waiting. It'll happen.
What's going on, everybody? Nicktendo Direct here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you want to check out what I do on my channel, link is in the description box. I do live streams for the most part, whether that's live streaming games. I do a daily news, a segment that I do live called Nicktendo Direct Now. That's always fun. And I do a podcast on Sundays with a panel and all that stuff. So check out the channel, and if you like it, subscribe as well. Thanks once again for watching, guys.